All right, so today we're turning that key and pushing open the door to the world of locks, security, you name it.
Oh, absolutely. And we're not just talking about your everyday deadbolt here.
Right, we've got a real treat. We're diving deep with insights from the Lock Mob. They're a locksmith service pros, really operating out of Toowong in Brisbane, Australia.
What's fascinating to me is like how locksmithing walks this line between keeping things simple, convenient, and making sure things are seriously secure. And the lock mob, they really seem to get that, judging by the range of services they offer.
Yeah, and they actually emphasize something that I think gets overlooked.
Mm.
Speed. Like if you've ever lost your keys, you know that feeling. Your stomach drops, you get that little panic. The lock mob seems to understand that vulnerability you feel when your locks are compromised, even for a short time.
Totally. It's like, yeah, anyone can say they'll change a lock, but it's that urgency, that understanding of we need to fix this fast that really makes a difference.
Okay, so let's talk high security keys, because this is where things get really interesting. They talk about these registered keys. What I gathered is they're nearly impossible to duplicate. So how does that even work?
So picture this, a key, right? But it's so unique, so meticulously designed that copying it is next to impossible without very specific authorization. The lock mob designs these systems. They're not just cutting keys, they're crafting this whole system of security around them. Specialized blanks, unique cuts, sometimes even tech embedded in the key itself. It's wild. And then they keep track of who's allowed to get a copy, adding that extra layer of control.
So it's not just about the physical key anymore. It's like this whole ecosystem of security around it.
Exactly. It's about creating layers, right? And speaking of layers, that's where these master key systems come in. They're essential for places like large buildings where you've got different levels of access and security needs.
Right, like in those old movies, the hotel manager has that one key that magically opens every door in the building.
Well, it's a bit more nuanced than that, haha. It's more of a carefully structured hierarchy of access. The lock mob designs these systems where, say, a business owner might have a grand master key. That unlocks every single door, ultimate access. Then you have managers with master keys, but their access is limited. Maybe they can open every office on a specific floor. Then, of course, you have employees with keys specific to their workspaces.
That's really fascinating, like a perfectly orchestrated dance
Right.
between convenience and security. But you know what's cool? They don't just cater to like the big businesses and stuff. They've got a DIY side too. They have articles about installing locks yourself.
Absolutely. It's empowering, It's that sense of, hey, I can take control of my own security, and there's definitely satisfaction in that.
For sure. And they don't skimp on the details either. They break down everything, deadbolts, knob locks, even how to remove a doorknob if you need to replace it. It makes you want to grab a screwdriver and get to work.
It's tempting,
Right.
right? But, and this is important, we have to acknowledge that DIY has its limits, especially when it comes to security. Installing a basic lock, that's one thing, but designing a system that's genuinely secure, well, that needs a deeper understanding of potential weaknesses and the latest technology, especially for businesses or bigger properties.
Makes sense. You don't want to cut corners when it comes to something as important as your security.
Exactly. And that's where working with professional locksmiths like the Lock Mob is invaluable. They can really assess your specific needs, weigh the risks and benefits, and recommend the best approach. Whether it's going high-tech with a registered key system or just upgrading to stronger, more reliable locks.
So, yeah, maybe tackling a simple lock installation could be a fun weekend project. But when it comes to the real deal, serious security concerns, best to leave it to the pros who live and breathe this stuff.
Right. 100%. They're staying ahead of the game, so you don't have to.
And speaking of staying ahead, this deep dive into physical locks has been eye-opening. But it does make you wonder, in our increasingly digital world, what does the future hold for locksmithing? How will smart homes, digital locks, cybersecurity, all of that, how will that reshape the landscape? It's a question worth pondering.